Good morning, Year 4. Hope you're all okay. Happy Friday and welcome to today's maths lesson on fractions. So before we go into today's learning, have a go at the starter. There's 3 questions for you to have a look at. There's 1 subtraction question and 2 addition ones. So see if you can have a go at those for me, and then we'll go through the answers. If you're not sure, then we'll go through them together now. So this one, 2 quarters add 3 quarters, so we have the same denominator. So therefore our new denominator for our answer is going to be the same. Sorry, just waiting for my pen to load. So it would be 4 on the bottom when my pen wants to work, and then the top. Oh, there we go. And on the top you do 2 add 3. So 2 add 3 would be 5. So 2 quarters add 3 quarters is 5 quarters, which also equals 1 whole because you can fit 4 quarters in 5 quarters. And 1 left over. Okay, the bottom one then, so we have 1 whole and 2 sixths, take away 3 sixths. So if we were going to make this an improper fraction, we would times 6 by the whole number. So 6 times 1 is 6, add 2 would be 8. So 8 sixths is the same as 1 whole and 2 sixths. So then that should be easier for us to work out, because then we do 8 sixths, take away 3 sixths, so our new denominator will be 6, and we have 8 take away 3, which is 5, so 5 sixths. You might have also used a fraction strip, and if you got the same answer, then that's fine. This one is a bit trickier because you had to work out the missing number. So we have 1 whole and 3 eighths, add something equals 2 whole and 2 eighths. So for this one, you could convert them into improper fractions. So 8 times 1 is 8, add 3 on is 11. So that is the equivalent to 11 eighths. So 11 eighths add something eighths equals, so we need to convert this into an improper fraction. So 8 times 2 is 16, add 2 is 18. Okay, so what do you add to 11 to get 18 for your new numerator? So 11 in your head, and then count on your fingers to get to 18. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it'd be 7. Okay, and again, you could use a fraction strip to work that out, but I've just converted it into an improper fraction. So today's learning then, we're carrying on with subtraction, but we're looking at subtracting from a whole amount today. So we've got the same style words. The only new one is whole, because we're looking at wholes today, and subtracting a fraction from a whole. So let's look at this question first. We have 1 whole, take away 3 fifths. So how is this different from yesterday's learning and the learning we've done so far? What is different about this compared to what we did the other day when we first started doing subtraction? So the clue kind of in the learning intention, from a whole amount. So we're now subtracting from a whole amount rather than a fraction subtract a fraction. It's a whole subtract a fraction. So we're going to learn how to do that first. It's quite straightforward, and with practice you'll be fine at it. So we'll go through it together first. So we have 1 whole, take away 3 fifths. Now we could use a fraction strip to do this. So let's say that each of these are worth a fifth, because that's the fraction we are given. So all these are a fifth. So what you need to think about is how many fifths are in a whole. And it would be 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at this point, if you were counting on, so if this was a number line, that would be 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, 5 fifths. So that's where we have a whole. So then we need to take away 3 fifths. So we just need to jump backwards 3 fifths. So if 1 whole's here, we need to take away 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we land on 2 fifths. 1, 2. So our answer would be 2 fifths. So it's the same concept as what we did yesterday with using the fraction strips, but instead of it being, for example, 1 and 1 fifth, which would have been here, it's just 1. So it's the same process, same kind of method to calculate it, but it's just a bit different because it's a whole. But don't let that scare you, because it's, like I said, it's the same process. So now I want you to have a go. So can you do 1 whole, take away 2 sixths? So see if you can use a fraction strip to help you work it out as well. I'll also go through it with you now if you're not sure about how to do it. So we need to work out what each of these equal parts is worth. So I can see the fraction is a sixth, so each of these is worth a sixth, and I'll actually draw it as a number line this time. So that's 1/6, that's 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6/6. So where is our whole, do you think, on this? It would actually be here, where we have 6/6. That is the same as a whole. So we have this as our whole, and then we need to take away 2/6. So we just need to go backwards 2. 1, 2, and we land on 4/6. Okay, so that's how we work out using a fraction strip. For those of you who may have kind of seen the pattern already, you can actually see that 2 add 4 equals 6. So whatever, if it's just one whole, then you can work out without using a fraction strip if you want to. It's just the difference to get to 6. So if you had 1 take away 3/5, you know that 3/5 add 2/5 is going to equal a whole, because you know that it's got to be 5/5 to make a whole. Therefore, 1 take away 3/5 must be 2/5. Hopefully that makes sense. It's, in my head it does, but I don't know if it will in yours. But it's just another way of looking at it. It's, you probably know it, but it's just thinking about it that way as well. I can do it like this as well if it helps. So we know that 3/5 add 2/5 equals 5/5. 5/5 is the same as a whole, and then you're just doing it the other way round to find out the answer. So moving on to our developed learning then, have a look at this question. Why might this be more difficult now looking at this question? So hopefully straight away you've noticed that rather than just having one whole, we have 3 wholes now. So it's still a whole amount, but now it's 3 wholes. So we could use a fraction strip to work this out, and there's kind of 2 ways we could do it. Either way we're going to get the same answer, but I'll go through both with you anyway. So 3 take away 3/4. So the first thing we need to do is find out where 3 wholes is. So if each of these is worth a quarter, I'm going to count up in quarters to find out where 1 whole is, and then 2 wholes, and then 3 wholes. So this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So that is where our whole is. And then we count another 4. So that's 1 and 1/4, 1 and 2/4, 1 and 3/4, 1 and 4/4. So that would be where our 2 wholes are. And then we count on 2 and 1/4, 2 and 2/4, 2 and 3/4, 2 and 4/4. So that is where 3 is. So we don't need to go any further because the number we're subtracting from is 3 wholes. So all we need to do now is count back 3/4. So if we know if each of these are worth a quarter, we can count back 3 spaces or boxes. So 1, 2, 3, and that's our answer. So we know it's 2 wholes and 1/4 because this box is worth a quarter. So that'll be our answer. So that's how we can use this one. This method might be easier for you to see how we use a fraction strip to help us. So all I've done here is I've separated the wholes. So you can see 3 shapes here, which are split into quarters. So they're still all worth a quarter. But altogether they are a whole. So that equals 1 whole, that's now 2 wholes, and that's 3 wholes. So it is the same as that, they're just broken up into their wholes rather than in one big strip. If that works better for you, then that's fine, you'll still get the same answer. So with this one, you would still take away your 3/4, so you would cross them out, 1, 2, 3, and then you've got 1 whole left, 2 wholes left, and then 1/4 on this bar left. So if it works better for you to split it up into the whole shapes, then that's fine. Whichever way is better for you, then go for that. So now it's your turn to have a quick go at it. Have a go at this one. So we've got 2 wholes, take away 4/6. So use a fraction strip to help if you want to, and then we'll go through the answers. If you're not sure, then stay with me and we'll go through it together. Okay, so if you're not sure how to go through it, I'm going to go through it with you now. All I've done is drawn 2 shapes because I know it's 2 wholes, so I've done 2, and I split them into 6 because we're looking at 6. So each of these boxes are worth a 6th. So if you add them all up, it would be 6/6. 6/6. Oh, that's horrible to say. So we have 1 whole and 2 wholes. And we are taking away 4/6. So all you need to do is cross them out and then count how many you've got left. So you've got 1 whole box left. So we're left with 1 whole, and then 2 as well, 2/6, because each of these are worth a 6. And it's as simple as that. For those of you who didn't use a fraction strip, you could have also worked out with using the same method I was talking about earlier, where you can work out the difference between 4 and 6, which you know is 2/6. And then even though we're looking at more than 1 whole now, you could just take 1 from that, because you know it's going to be lower than this one. It's going to be in between this and 1 whole, unless this was 1 as well. So you can also work out by, if you know that 4/6 add 2/6 equals 1 whole, you can turn it around to have 1 take away 4/6 equals 2/6, but because it's 2 wholes, it's going to be 1 and 2/6. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, then just stick with the fraction strips, because they're really useful for you to be able to see it when you're working through it. So now it's time for you to have a go at your Mathletics. Some of you have a task set, but some of you don't, just because of the different courses some of you are doing. So if you do have Mathletics set, then go and do that now. And if you want to come back to the challenge at the end of the video, do so. If you don't have a Mathletics task set, then come back to this video, and there are some questions on here for you to have a go at. So if you haven't got a Mathletics task set, here are your questions. Just do as many as you can in about 15 minutes or so. Don't worry if you don't get all of them done, but have a go at working them out. Use a fraction strip to help, and I will go through the answers with you once you've done them. Okay, welcome back for those of you who had a go at these questions. I've just quickly worked out the answers for you. As always, if any of them are wrong, let me know, because I did quickly go through them. So the first one should be 1/5. This one, if we're going down the way, is 4/6, then 2/7. The middle row, the top one is 3/6. Then the one underneath is 3/4, and then 2/8 at the bottom. And then the last 3 were a bit trickier because it was more than 1 whole, but I thought I'd chuck them in there just to give you a bit of a challenge. So this one was 2 and 2/6, and then 1 and 1/4. And then 3 and 3/5. So hopefully they were all okay for you. So now your challenge then, for those of you who are doing the challenge, says Dora is subtracting a fraction from a whole, and it's 5 take away 3/7 equals 2/7. Can you spot her mistake? What should the answer be? So if you haven't done this now, pause the video, and if you have, then let's go through the answer. So she has 5 wholes. So I'll draw, if I just pause the video, I'll get 5 wholes up a minute, so just hang on a minute. Okay, so I've got my 5 shapes, and I've split them into equal parts of 7, because we're looking at sevenths. So Dora says she has 5 wholes, so these are all 1 whole, and they're all worth 1/7, and she's taken away 3/7. So let's take that away, 1, 2, 3. So then we're left with 1, 2, 3, 4 wholes and 1, 2, 3, 4 sevenths. So she's not actually looked at how many wholes there are. She has just kind of pretended it's 5/7, and then 5/7 take away 3/7, which would give you 2/7. But it's 5 wholes, so 5 wholes would be 35/7. In fact, because there's 5 lots of 7 and 35. So that's the mistake she's made, and the answer would have been, I can't remember what I said now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 sevenths. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That's everything for today. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, and if there's any questions, as always, let me know, and I can always go through it in my drop-in on Wednesday. So thank you for watching, and hope you all have a great weekend.